Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgy, your guide to all things geeky, and welcome to another episode of Game Room, the show on this channel where we just geek out about video games. And as I have mentioned before, January is a special time of the year for this channel because it's the time of the year in which we look forward at all the fun, geeky stuff coming out in the upcoming year. So today, I'm going to give you my top 10 most anticipated video games of 2017. Now, before we get into the top 10 though, a few honorable mentions. Death Stranding and the new Spider-Man game, I am indeed super hyped for both those games, but let's be honest, there is no way in hell either of those games are coming out this year. Those are coming out 2018 if we're lucky. And also, another honorable mention, Cuphead. Because that has indeed become the new Last Guardian. That thing will never, ever, ever come out. I'm sorry, I got lost in thought for a second. Anyway, here's that new top 10.
Alright, I'm going to start off with a game that a lot of you probably haven't heard of, but I came across this last year at PAX East, and it blew me away. I recently have started to fall in love with all the old school 2D platformer games that indie companies have been putting out, and Flinthook looks like it's going to be one of the most fun additions to that category. Basically, in this game, you have to use your grappling hook to jump through flying spaceships going from one room to the next, attaching to whatever you can grab a hold of, and you have to perform lots of quick twists in the air to maneuver from one room to the next or to engage in combat with your enemies. As I said, I played this at PAX East. It was a lot of fun, but at the same time, it was a game that I had to concentrate on. It was a game in which I actually had to think about where I was going to land, where I was going to aim, and I loved that this was a game that was both engaging but still just really enjoyable, and the art style and the characters of this game are incredibly charming. In fact, in all honesty, this game really reminds me of Owlboy, which is one of my favorite games of 2016, just with the design of the protagonist, how I can look at them and instantly tell there's some kind of a story to them. So I can't wait to finally play the whole game this year and really learn what the full story is. Next up at number 9, if you guys have watched this channel long enough, you know that I am a big fighting games fan, and last year I was, let's say, disappointed in Street Fighter V? Let's just leave it at that. However, you know what fighting game franchise hasn't let me down so far? Tekken. And this year, Tekken 7 is coming out, and not only is it going to continue to have the huge roster of crazy characters that I have come to love in Tekken, but also they're going to add brand new mechanics to spice up the gameplay, such as a rage attack that you can only perform when your health bar is low enough, or a power crush move that is an attack that cannot have its animation interrupted by the other player attacking you in the middle of the move. That sounds like something I will love to pull off and hate to be punished with when I play online. But also, as I said, I love Street Fighter, and Street Fighter V kinda let me down. So it almost feels like Tekken 7 is really trying to apologize for that, because Akuma is going to be in Tekken. This is not some big special crossover. He's just popping over there for the next installment. That is insane to me. But also, he is apparently going to have some deep backstory with Heihachi. I can't wait to learn what that's all about. Next up, speaking of indie games that I played at PAX East, Night in the Woods. Now, I played this game for a good long time at PAX East last year, and I never really got to what the story of the game was. I knew it was about a girl coming back home, finding that the town is kind of run down, and you could kind of get a sense that there was a mystery there. But when I read the description that this was indeed going to be a story about some big mystery out there in the woods, I wanted to know what the heck was out there in those woods. This is a game that they have somehow managed to keep what the actual game is about completely secret for over a year now. But I don't care. It is an insanely charming game, and the animation is gorgeous in here, and I love the character designs, and I can tell you just from playing it, the dialogue is incredibly witty and a lot of fun to just sit through. Even if there is no hook to this game, I just want to listen to these characters talk. So I had to put this on my list, partly because yes, it does look like an incredibly charming game, but at the same time, for the past year, I have been wondering, what the heck is in those woods? So I am happy I will finally be able to learn that. Next up at number 7 is Horizon Zero Dawn. I have been talking about this game for years. If you have not heard me ever talk about this game, then welcome to the Professor Thorgy channel, everybody. But I will just sum it up for you guys. This game looks new, it looks original, the combat system looks fun, the creature designs look amazing, the concept of this world is incredibly intriguing. I love this idea that it is a post-apocalyptic world, but not the same old doom and gloom post-apocalyptic world that we have seen in a dozen other games. No, it's a world where the machines have gone out into nature and kind of reverted to primal nature forms, and man have now returned kind of to caveman days, and now they're hunting these giant dinosaur robots, and you're trying to learn what caused all this to happen. Everything about this game is intriguing. Everything about this game makes me excited, and everything about it just makes me want to play it. Number 6, Ukulele. Now, I put this game on this list, and I put this high partly because I feel like we need Ukulele right now. We need this game to come in and just prove that it is possible for a creator who really wanted to continue making games for the series that they created, but the company that owned that game would not let them keep making games for that series, that it is possible for those creators to turn to Kickstarter, get funding from the fans who want more of that game that they made, and then it is possible for those creators to take that money and turn it into a game that carries on the legacy and the tradition of that game that they loved. Because after 2016, we need a game to prove that can be done. Next up is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, you might be surprised to see this on this list because I opened this video by saying that I wasn't going to put the new Spider-Man or Death Stranding game on this list because there was no way that it was going to come out in 2017. And when I talked about the reveal trailer for this game, I said I don't care if it says it's coming out in 2017, there is no way they're going to be able to hit that date. However, since then, we have learned that this game is actually way further along in its development than we initially thought. This actually probably will come out in 2017. So great! And yes, I know there are many people out there who are upset that the X-Men will not be in this game. I have spoken about this numerous times, although I should go ahead and point out it has been leaked that there is DLC planned for the X-Men, so I kind of call that. But yes, I know there are many people upset about that. However, I don't care if they took out the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, half the Avengers, and just made this, I don't know, the Deadpool fighting game. It's still Marvel vs. Capcom. It's still the crazy quick action that I have come to love from this franchise. It's still all the insane Capcom characters that I have come to love from this franchise. There is still so much about this game that I am excited for that I cannot be that upset no matter what they take away from me. Number 4, God of War. Now, I'm about to say something that's a little bit controversial and crazy. I really enjoyed the God of War games, but I enjoyed them for the story. And I know you might be thinking, there's almost no story to those games. There's a little bit of backstory to Kratos, and then it's just him on a revenge rampage for the majority of the game, just going through and killing everything from the world of Greek mythology. Yes, however, I really dug that little bit of story that we got in those games, and I wanted to see them expand upon it. And it looks like this new game is not going to come in here and go, we're just going to make another God of War game. Let's just get through this. We're contractually obligated to do it. Let's just put it out there. No, it looks like the creators came in here and went, well, we kind of fully wrapped up the story, but if we have to come back, what is a new story we could tell? And let's focus on that story. And I love that. I love that this is going to be the story of Kratos after the last game. This is going to be the story of Kratos now with a son, and he has to teach this son how to go out there and fight. It looks like they're going to give Kratos something of a heart, but he's still got that rage boiling up inside of him. I love that they're taking him to a completely new place. They're taking him to the world of Norse mythology. So this is going to be a totally new Saiyan with brand new rules and brand new gods. And I really enjoy thinking about the fact that this could possibly be Kratos' final story. Because, yeah, Kratos kind of needs to have an ending to his story. He's not one of those characters who just walks off into the sunset. He is a character who needs to have his story come to an end, and that's what's got me the most excited about this. This looks like it could actually be the end of Kratos' story, and I want to see how they wrap that up. At number 3, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but also, honestly, just everything revolving around the Nintendo Switch. I know that last night there was a big conference all about the Switch in which they talked about all the games that are going to be coming out, or I assume they did, because a little behind the scenes here at the Thorgy compound, I am recording this before that conference happens, so I don't know what new games they're going to talk about tonight, but I'm still incredibly excited for Breath of the Wild. The trailer that we saw at E3, it let me know they're doing something completely different with Zelda, and I always applaud trying something new with an established franchise. And also, I just love the whole design and the whole idea behind the Switch. The idea of taking your home console on the go, that is revolutionary, and I cannot wait to see what Nintendo has in store. For the first time in a long time, I am genuinely excited to see what Nintendo has planned. Now I just cross my fingers and hope that the Switch conference tonight is not a total dud. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like an idiot. Don't make me look like an idiot, Nintendo. I do that on my own just fine. Next up at number 2, Resident Evil. First off, greatest title card of any game on this list. I love the Resident Evil franchise. I love horror games. However, the Resident Evil franchise has kind of broken itself. With Resident Evil 5, they started to move in a completely different direction. I know that people can argue it started in 4, but 4 was still a genuinely scary game. But with 5, they went, yeah, we're just going to be a flat-out action game. And then 6 was, I don't even know what. That was barely a game. 6 just fell flat on its face, and Resident Evil needed to pick itself back up and fix itself, and it looks like they have. As I have mentioned earlier in this list, I love it whenever an established franchise that has gotten stale decides to do something completely different, and what Resident Evil 7 appears to be doing that's completely different is going back to its roots. It realizes it got too far away from the survival horror theme. It is now going to be a game in which the sole purpose of it is to constantly terrorize you. It is going to be a game in which you are going to have to manage your resources. It is going to be a game in which you are going to have to stop and listen for footsteps and where the monsters could be coming from. I cannot wait to have my pants scared off by this game. I am even contemplating buying a PlayStation VR. And if I do decide to buy one, please do not tell my family that I died from a heart attack while playing Resident Evil 7. And lastly, at number 1, if you have been watching this channel long enough, is there really any surprise to this one? Persona 5. I have been talking about the Persona series ever since I started my YouTube channel. In fact, some of the first videos that actually got me an audience were my videos talking about the trailers for Persona 5. I love the entire Persona series, and I'll be honest with you, I almost didn't put this on this list simply because A, it would have been too obvious to anybody who has been watching my channel long enough, but also because B, listen, Persona, I'm kind of mad at you because these are my most anticipated games of 2017, and you were also on my list for most anticipated games of 2016, and my list of most anticipated games for 2015. In fact, I wasn't making these videos at the time, but if I had been, you would have been on my list of most anticipated games for 2014. It has been a long time since I have seen a game get pushed back like this. Typically, when a game gets delayed this much, it's been canceled or it's in permanent limbo. But this game never went away. You guys kept working on it. You kept tinkering on it. You kept trying to make it better. And I can't wait to see the fruits of your labor. I cannot wait to see what you have done to spice up a game formula that I already loved. I can't wait to see what these new social links are. I can't wait to meet these new characters. I can't wait to go through these new interactive dungeons and find out what the big mystery behind all of these heartless creatures are. This game has had me excited for years now, and I have no shame in admitting when this game finally comes out, I'm taking 2 weeks off from work so that I can play through it and then play through it again. But those are just my most anticipated games of 2017. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your most anticipated games of 2017? Also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we're not just looking ahead to 2017 this month, we're also looking back at 2016. So if you want to see my top 10 video games of 2016, make sure you click that subscribe button, and also make sure you share these videos all around the web. It is the best way to help this channel grow. Thank you guys for checking us out, and come back next time.